So, eBoost4grid, please, you have the floor.
Thank you. Thank you very much. We are power engineers from CTU in Prague, and my name is Marek.
My name is Andrej.
And we're presenting eBoost4grid, a revolutionary approach for the expansion of EV charging infrastructure in Prague. First, let me paint you a picture. Last Wednesday, the European Union Parliament passed a law that's starting from 2035, it will be outlawed to sell any combustion cars in the EU. We also have the energy transition moving towards renewable energy. That is a beautiful vision for the politicians. But this also introduces a lot of grid instability and seasonality, and for us engineers, that's insane. But maybe, just maybe, there's a solution, right, Anya?
Exactly, Mark. And this is the solution, eBoost4grid. With our sleek design, it makes basically the modern infrastructure the best way how to apply it. Yeah, that's eBoost4grid. And there are some technical key points. It's not only smart, the chargers and the public light system. It's ambient, it's flexible. As Mark said, like the renewable energy sources, that comes with huge instability. But with our solution and the dynamic load system management that comes on board with every charger, we try to flatten the load curve. And it's affordable. We come up with revolutionary synergy between the providers, the distributors of the energy, and the public light systems. So we don't have to dig twice into the ground.
And as we are engineers, we're not selling you dreams. These are real technical solutions that are already being implemented in Prague, and this is actually a real design that we will be using.
Exactly. And about the feasibility, we plan to use the existing infrastructure, not only the cables, but actually the public light system as well as the base. It's easy to integrate. We already chatted with many different distributors of the energy, and it should be applicable for more than 75% of the European cities. And we are not only trying to lever the costs, the emissions, but it also is a great business opportunity for you to earn money.
That sounds great, Anya. So to summarize, we have outlined how the e-mobility is a big opportunity, but also a huge potential crisis for the European development. However, using eBoost4grid, we have created a perfect solution that is cost-effective and will help us with this energy transition that we all work towards, hope for, and we all want.
Wow.
Thank you so much for your attention, and we're happy to answer any questions.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Dear members of the jury, do you have questions or remarks?
Well, if I may ask the question, I think the idea to use the infrastructure on one hand side, which exists together with this charging infrastructure, is a very, very immediate one, actually. So, are there any challenges concerning the electric supply in general if you scale up the automotive, let's say the cars in the city into, let's say, 80% of electric mobility? What are the further challenges you have to cope with in order to combine those two systems?
Yes, of course, there are many challenges, and as engineers, we are ready to face them. So actually, we did an analysis of charger expansion. So based on the expected number of electric vehicles in Prague, we estimate that by 2040, we will need almost 100,000 chargers. And then the logical question is, can this actually fit into the lampposts? Well, in Prague, specifically, this is possible because we have more than 135,000 public lampposts that we can use. And of course, this will be complemented with other charging solutions like in large parking lots, etc. So this is not a huge challenge, or basically we have already solved it and addressed it. Another thing is, of course, lamps do not require that much energy. If you have a standard lamp, that you cannot really charge an electric vehicle with that. But the ingenious part of our plan is that currently it's extremely hard to put in new cables into, especially in city centers. It's a long process, etc. But we already created a strategy plan and an action plan with the distributor of energy in Prague. So every time they open up the sidewalks to put in new cables, they already put in the cables that are EV charger ready. So we estimate that in 10 years we will be able to cover the entirety of Prague, and we'll be able to upgrade all of the 135,000 public lampposts into the EV chargers. And this is completely unique. We have not seen any project like this in other large cities in Europe, but of course we'll be happy to expand it starting in Prague, which so far has been a tremendous success.
Exactly. That's the synergy we were talking about.
Much. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Are there other questions or remarks by the jury, please?
Arthur from Tallinn. Let me ask about the safety aspect of this. How about the hazards, the fire regulations? Do you see problems in passing the regulatory aspects of this, the politics of getting this done?
This is, of course, another challenge we have been addressing with talks with the distributors. So we have been solving the technical challenge and then facing, the implications of technology policy. What we figured out, for example, is that it would be impossible to have the lighting system and the charging system separate, because, as you say, it would be a fire hazard, and you would have two operators of two power systems in one lamppost. So if there was an accident, you would have to coordinate, and it would be too complicated. So instead, we will be converting the lighting systems of the lamppost as well to be able to run on the high voltage system that we will be using for the EV chargers as well, which is preferred and required by the fire brigades in Prague. And we believe the same solution would be applicable to the other cities, because basically fire and regulatory challenges will be quite aligned, we expect, in various cities across Europe.
Thank you very much.
I have another question, if there is time, Henry.
There is time, yes, please.
Thank you. Thank you for the presentation, eBoost4grid. My question regards the public space. If you're transforming the lamps into a charging station, it means that you are interrupting the flow on the public road at some point. Have you considered this, that you need the cars to stop for a moment, and this let's say this space is now probably a flowing space now?
So this is highly individual. Of course, some lampposts might be next to a highway. Those are probably not the lampposts we will be using for the chargers. The lampposts we are targeting are in the city center next to parking spaces. So that's our approach, how to massively scale the electric charging infrastructure in the center of Prague or in any city, because that is the main challenge. How do we respond to this anticipated electric vehicle boom? Of course, outside of the city center, it's much easier because we have large parking spaces, for example, for people that go to the city for work. And there we can build large charging hubs. But there we don't really need to bother with the street lamps, and we can do something much more cheaper and bigger.
Yeah, exactly. And obviously, there are like 130,000 lamps in Prague, but not all of them are close to the parking spots. But there are like 30,000 according to the resources and from the data we got from the distributor. So if we only use those 30,000 lamps, it would be enough to fulfill the plan that the government of Prague has in terms of electromobility.
Okay, thank you very much. Very clear. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much. Unless there are further questions from the jury. Patrick, maybe? Then we can continue with the next project. So eBoost4grid, thank you very much for your presentation.
Thank you so much for having us.
Thank you for your time.